Hello, this is Matthew. I'm using the Zoom platform to record this. I'm not really sure why me in the foreground is a little bit out of focus, but the picture behind me is, it looks like it's in perfect focus. I've got to figure this one out. So I apologize for the unclear, a little bit fuzzy appearance in these videos lately. I have done some in the past that were clear. Anyway, today's March 23rd, 2022. I'm talking about this everybody community project called the 5 Steps Project. And what this is about is it's establishing community centers, starting with one in a place in Ziru, Uganda, where I have a partner there that is willing and quite able to help with the local requirements, because he's from there and he's worked in the orphanage for 10 years of school in 10 years. So he knows the lay of the land and he knows the culture well, which I don't know the culture at all. I've been to a few places in Africa, but I haven't been to this place. And so, you know, every area has its own unique culture. This is what I'm here about. Let's see if I can get this to show up, because I've got this masking happening, huh? So this is a little girl and she's in a bucket and it's hard to see her very clearly. I call her the bucket girl, from Yemen. I don't know if she's alive or not, but this is my motivation, because there are 15,000 children that die every day from our neglect, not from, difficult things, difficult circumstances. These are just simply from our neglect, our not caring. And today what I wanted to do was address some of the 5 key objections that I've heard through the years. I've been working in community projects for over 30 years. And one of the key objections that people come up with right away, if you say, would you like to support the project, does it seem like something you might want to do? First of all, if you're asking for money or you're asking for someone to volunteer without pay, there's a resistance right away. What's in it for me? We're surviving. Well, it's in our bones, it's in our marrow. We want to survive. And part of that survival instinct has to do with holding on to my assets, holding on to what I've got, whether it's my money, my house, my food, my car, my family. All of these things they're non-negotiable. So when you ask someone to help someone else, it can trigger a very basic, very basal kind of an instinctive reaction that an individual has in their backbone, in their spine, that says, I've got to protect my assets. I just can't give them away to anybody. So this is a very natural kind of a reaction. And like so many aspects of being a human being, we want to see, we can observe, do people react from, something that even can go back in evolution to the reptile brain, is what a lot of scientists will call that, fight or flight. And it'll go back to that. And so now what we're doing, we're evolving as human beings. We've got bigger brains. We're able to be self-conscious, self-aware, and we're able to balance what's for the greater good. What's the compassionate thing to do? Generally with animals, there are very cute videos on the internet about a dog that's helping another dog get off the road after they've been hurt, or animals doing very compassionate things. And that's true, animals can be compassionate, but a lot of times there's a lot of instincts where the animals don't appear to be compassionate to us. And there are a lot of times that we'll see human beings not being compassionate to each other. Well, this project is about compassion. It's about being compassionate. It's about using the love framework: compassion, respect, consideration, kindness, communication. These are all parts of love. I've done more than 80 videos about the different aspects of love. And when we really come to understand the idea of love, it's the only framework that can work that will stop us from destroying the world, stop us from neglecting each other, allow us to feed these 15,000 children that die every day. It will allow us to make a real change. The framework of love. There's no other framework that's going to work. That's my opinion anyway. So objection number one, I already gave people, it's become a joke. It's become a tagline. I gave it the office, right? But this might not always apply, because you can say, oh, would you like to try some cherry pie? And well, I already tried apple, but cherry is different. I know, but I had my apple pie in 1973. I did that. So this is a very simplistic, remember, once again, people get triggered because they want to control their assets. And some people go so extreme that they want to control millions or billions of dollars that are sitting in the bank on a computer, just a stream of numbers that could save literally millions of lives. But instead of sharing that, one of the first objections that comes out of this fear of losing their own survival and saying, wait a second, let me out of here. This place is going down. And they save their own butt. One of the objections is I already gave. Now, this is total bullshit, because what people do is they're always trying variety. Let's try a new restaurant. And normally that's a very attractive thing. Very few people always need to go to the same restaurant, always need to eat the same thing. People in general like variety. So, number two, let's see. I feel uncomfortable with this. People feel uncomfortable, right? And this is really coming from that original challenge to their survival, if they think they're going to lose some assets that are required for them to live. Now, this is an irrational thing, remember? So the things that come from the basic survival instinct, this fight or flight instinct that comes from way back to reptilian times, you know, try not to get eaten. Try not to have your eggs stolen and eaten by a bird or whatever, you know, these kind of things. So there's an irrational, automatic, knee-jerk reaction. And when people feel uncomfortable, they don't know why, and they can't tell you why. And if they do tell you why, normally it's not true at all. They don't even know themselves. We don't know ourselves so much, but we do have this knee-jerk reaction. So this is an important thing to understand. If you feel uncomfortable, imagine how the bucket girl feels. Imagine how she feels. Well, maybe that's a way to show it. See, she's sitting in a bucket. Why is she in a bucket? She's being, she's getting a medical health checkup, and she's too weak to stand. So they put her body in a bucket, and then they weigh her that way. That's so, I think, it's so sad. It's incredible. Next one, it won't work. Cynicism. It just won't work. I've got a good friend of mine. He's a good guy, and he's a smart guy, and he's a generous guy too. And in certain ways, he's adopted a couple of children, but he says nobody cares about community. Nobody cares, and that's it. Just leave it at that. Where does it come from again? It comes from, again, this knee-jerk reaction of people who don't see the possibility in communities working together. And they don't really understand people in a community working together, and they don't understand how that can be made to happen. And how it can be made to happen is from a community center, a place there you can go. And I'm not talking about where you go to play basketball and smoke pot behind the building. I'm talking about a place that requires accountability and activity and contribution. A place where we grow and we learn to trust each other. And we know that we have to treat each other with respect and kindness. When we hear about community centers, a lot of times we just hear about a place where people can do sports or something like that. I had that in Chicago when I was growing up in the 60s. We had a community, we'd go there and go swimming. It was a public pool, and they'd call it a community center. This is a whole different thing. This is the thing where people contribute, and people don't have, if you haven't got any food and you're starving, you don't have a job, you can go to the community center, help out in the greenhouse. Well, if you're too sick or you're too weak to help out in the greenhouse, of course, we'll take care of you until you can be more healthy, until you have energy, until you can help and contribute. So there's that aspect. But the key aspect is people that are able-bodied, most all people that are in a given community, They can go there, they can help out, and then they can take food home. They can eat food there. So we'll have a chicken farm, we'll have maybe a fish farm too. And people who help out and contribute by, you know, contributing to the other people in the community, of course, they're supported by the community center. So this isn't about how cynics say, oh, you know, give somebody money, they're going to throw it away. No, this is a very, very controlled environment when it comes to that. And we all keep an eye on each other. We all hold each other accountable. And that's an important thing, accountability. Not the same as punishment. Punishment is not accountability. Accountability is just an awareness of what's going on. Okay, you did this. You didn't do that. It's got nothing to do with punishment. But it's got to do with being aware of the assets, being aware of the resources and controlling those resources. People that say, okay, so here's another objection. People will say, oh, there's somebody that's already doing that. That's already being done. There are expert organizations, and there are some fantastic organizations doing a lot of fantastic things. There's a lot more waste. There's a lot more corruption. There are a lot, when I've worked for some of these, there are a lot more organizations that are not doing anything to help anybody. I think one of the greatest things that's going on right now is the people in Poland that are helping the people in the Ukraine. They're running away from, their houses are being bombed. They're being attacked by the Russians. And the people in Poland are saying, come on, I got a place where you guys can stay, things like that. 100% pure giving in a time of crisis. This is a wonderful thing. What the Everybody Community Center does is a little different. Actually, it's quite different. It establishes a place where we can go and we can work together, where we can cooperate, where we can communicate, get basic, we can get medical advice about, who knows, poison snakes, or don't drink this, don't eat that, be careful of these berries, you know. But we can also get food, we can contribute, we can have meetings. There are free computers to use to do research if you don't have a computer. There's free Wi-Fi there. As long as the Wi-Fi isn't overwhelmed, you know, you can go there. There are phones you can use. We can provide phones to people. We're planning that, not sure how the money's going to work on that. But this is a place where the bottom line, the most important thing is nurturing. It's about nurturing. It's about empowerment. It's about helping an individual to actualize. And that's what the community center is about. Because I've never seen that anywhere in the world. And I've been to 50 countries, but I've never really seen that. A place where people can go, especially in these places of really high poverty. So immediately what it can take care of is these basic needs of food, clothing, shelter, these kinds of things. Clean water. We'll always make sure that there's clean water, whether it's filtering from the water system, whether it's digging a well, whether it's shipping water in, clean, good quality water in, whatever it takes to make sure that there's abundant, clean water for everybody who needs it, because that's one of the biggest killers, is this dirty water that people end up having to drink because they don't have any other options. Okay. I've got another one here, but I scribbled it and I can't read it. So that's why I keep looking at this. What the heck did I write down? It looks like I can't change. I can't charge. How do you? I don't know. I'll have to do it in another video if it's something significant. But I just want to share, here's some of the objections that come up. And what we're doing right now with our fundraising, we need to raise $106,500 US. And that handles all of the expenses for 1 year. This is a pilot project, so we're not sure how it's going to go, but we think we'll be able to stick within our budget, and we think we'll be able to. We've done a lot of research, and Mr. Benson out there has helped a lot with finding out how much things cost and what's a viable thing to do and where can we do it, all these other things. He's got experience in that area, and he knows the culture and he knows the cost of things. So we've done a lot of research, and now that COVID is lifting in some countries, people aren't worrying about it. we can actually start the project now, because we had to put it on hold for a little bit because everything was locked down. Couldn't even open a school in Uganda, but now it's available. So what the current project is, I've contacted some people that are some of my favorite influencers on YouTube. One of them is Gary V, totally cool guy. I know he's doing some help to some other people. I want to talk with him directly about this project and see if he wants to support it. I'm looking for 10 people that will each give $10,650 each. If we can find these 10 influencers that are, these guys are all multimillionaires, right? So it's not like it's going to be a big sacrifice. Now, if they were to do every project, of course, their money's gone overnight. But I'm hoping they'll consider this project as a unique one, a special one, a one worth their support. So I'm contacting video influencers, and I've already contacted Vanessa Lau, waiting to hear back from her. And I've contacted Gary V, and I'm waiting to hear back from him. So far, no answers yet. And I think maybe it's going to take me contacting 100 people before I can raise the money, maybe 120 people. I don't know, but I get a very good positive feeling about this. I completely believe in the project. Ask me anything about how it's going to work, or what are we going to do if this happens? What are we going to, we've thought this through very carefully, and we just need to give it a shot. That's what we do with everything, right? You're designing a new car, you put it on your road, test it. Airplanes, they go through all kinds of testing before they can ever get anywhere near flying. So what we're doing is we're doing a pilot project. We're testing this project, and we want to make sure that the information that we've gathered so far, the understanding that we have so far, is applicable in real life. And it's well darn worth it to apply this and to test this, because it will eliminate these situations. Why? Because this little girl could go to a community center and get help. Her mother could carry her there, and she could get help. And there would be a place that they could go, they could get food, basic medicines, basic support. And they would want to locate themselves near these community centers. So some people will need to relocate if they're off in some distance place where they can't get food, they can't get any help. They're going to relocate near to a community center where they can be involved and create this kind of a community that helps us survive. So that's it for today. I just want to share with you. So far I've done a couple of I reached out to a couple of people, and I'm going to do a recap every day, and I'm going to reach out to more people. And I'm hoping that I can do, I don't know if I have enough time to do this, 5 to 10 videos every day, reaching out to 5 to 10 different influencers that have millions of dollars that might want to take a chance, support this project with $10,650. If you know somebody, please contact us. There's information how to contact us at the end of this video. Thanks so much for listening. Have a wonderful day.